honor to be here.
Hi, my name is Yaretzi Costilla. I am a part of the California division, CSU East Bay. I'm Natalia's teammate. I did thermaler as well. We made it to nationals. So.
Oh, you gonna read it for mommy?
Okay, I'll go next. Hi, my name is
so
Beth.
weird.
I'm in ninth grade, and
It was like weird.
I was also in the same team as the other two members, and we were in the competition NEDC. Okay.
Hi, my name is Sorry, I'm just gonna go break in really quick and just ask everyone to mute themselves unless you're the one speaking. Thank you.
Familiar approaches your home.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Bella Rose. I'm teammates with Yaretzi, Natalia, and Bethany, of course. We did thermal last year and went to nationals, and I'm a part of CSU East Bay, and it's an honor to be here.
You're muted.
All right, sorry, I'm having my own technical problems over here. Now we're gonna go, we'll do Maryland next. I'm not sure if New Mexico ever got here. So Maryland, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Venya, and I'm from Maryland, and we also went to nationals last year, and we were also the team that placed third overall in nationals in 2018 in the middle school level, and we're from Mount Hebron High School.
Hi, my name is Srinidhi Akella. I'm Venya's teammate. We are the school from Maryland. We go to Mount Hebron High School, and we're all juniors.
Hi, my name is Harini, and I'm also Venya and Srinidhi's teammate. Yeah.
We have one more team member, but she is not here today. Her name is Pooja.
Great, awesome, thank you. All right, did anyone from New Mexico arrive? The students from New Mexico?
Yeah, there's me and Karri. Perfect. I guess I'll start. Hi, my name's Fletcher. I am a New Mexico MESA graduate. I go to NMT currently, and we participated in the last year's competition and won first place nationally. Karri, I'll hand it off to you.
Hi, I'm Karri Salazar. We were in the winning team last year, and I also made it to MESA USA my freshman year.
Great, thank you very much. All right, so teachers, so start thinking of your questions for the students, but we'll go ahead and go with the questions that I prepared and told the students about, and we'll start with question 1. Technical problems here. Can you still see my screen, everyone? Because it went from presentation form. I'm just gonna leave it where it is. All right, so let's start. We'll go reverse this time and go with New Mexico first. What is your favorite part of being part of MESA?
Well, I personally enjoyed it because it was a nice way to get away from high school work. Honestly, I was never a big fan of high school, but MESA offered a nice escape that I could go and actually do stuff I love to do. I love engineering, and I especially love the skills that it gave me moving forward. And I know I've used them many times, and I've been able to get jobs at, of course, New Mexico Tech because of my experiences in MESA. So overall, I'd say it's been great, and I loved the tools it gave me.
I would agree with having the skills that MESA gave me because they are very useful in college currently, and I didn't realize how useful that they would be in college and just like my future.
All right, let's go with Maryland.
I can start. So I think MESA is such an amazing opportunity for students to branch out and like find new interests. So like if you don't try a certain field, if you don't like explore, you won't really understand and you won't know like what field you truly enjoy. And personally, MESA prompted a curiosity in the STEM field, especially in the biomedical engineering field for me. And my favorite part of MESA is personally the competitions, especially the in-person competitions, since we put so much time and effort into our projects throughout the year. And once we just get to the competition, we try to enjoy the experience. And no matter the result, being there is honestly just a reward.
So like everyone previously already said that you learn so much from MESA, and I've been doing this since I was in 4th grade and I'm a junior at high school now. So I've just learned so many useful skills that you can use anywhere in your life. Like the people from New Mexico said, to like get a job or in college. And personally, my favorite part is just like getting to spend the entire year just working with your friends and getting to do something that you love. And the in-person competitions are just so much fun too, because you get to see what everybody else did, and it's just a really cool experience.
Okay, so is it California? Okay, so my favorite thing about MESA is definitely the sense of belonging and community that you feel just being a part of it. You make all these connections, and you make deep connections with your teammates, and you make connections with people from other schools when you go to, for example, last year we went to regionals and it was in person, so we made friends with people from different schools, and it's definitely just the sense of belonging and community you get, also as well the knowledge and the experience you get from the STEM field. But definitely the most beautiful thing and my favorite part about being a part of MESA is definitely just a community and sense of belonging that you feel, from the club meetings to team meetings. It's definitely just beautiful.
To expand on what Natalia said, I agree. Definitely the friends that you make along the way and the people you meet and the new experiences you get. Personally, my favorite part is the
All right. Can everyone still hear me? Did Bella freeze? Yeah, okay. That's okay. Did everyone share? Is there anyone else from California who wanted to share? All right. All right. So the next question is going to, I'm sorry to share this slide out. Is what advice would you give students preparing for competition? New Mexico, let's start with you.
All right. Okay, this is a challenging question because I've been part of several teams at this point with and I've helped several teams as well with the competition. It really varies person to person. The first thing you definitely need though is a strong, dedicated team. I know when me and Karri went to nationals and eventually got first place, it would never have happened if we hadn't spent possibly like a full time's worth of hours on it each week, probably about 20 to 40 hours each week, just working the project, doing research, or generally working on the prototype. So yeah, first thing I would say is you need to have a strong team, one that is dedicated as well. Secondly, it does really help having a strong idea and a strong community that is around your problem. Of course, me and my team and Karri did mental health, which luckily we had a strong base at our school and we're able to get lots of statistics from those studies that we conducted. So just having a strong problem, a strong idea for that problem, and having a very dedicated team is like what I would most recommend having going into the MESA competition.
Thank you.
I think more for like in creating the products is like making sure you look at the rubrics and fully understand what the rubrics say. Also, when we made our slideshow and like poster, we made sure to label the like the titles of what the actual rubric said. So we made sure that it was very clear that what we were addressing in the project.
Great. California, do you want to pipe in on this question?
Yeah, so some advice that I would give incoming MESA students would probably be to trust your teammates. And don't procrastinate, because if you leave everything to the side, it will come and haunt you later. Because no matter how much you want to push it away, it'll always come back, because you got to do your project. And trust your teammates at all times. Like, always be open to them and let them know what you're gonna do and what your ideas are.
Yeah, also to add on, we really wanted to focus on reading all the rules, because you could really make a big mistake if you don't do all of them. Because I remember from past experience, we had classmates in our club who weren't able to fill out all the stuff we were supposed to do, and then they like got disqualified because it wasn't meant for like the actual rules in the rule book. So it's really important to also read the rules.
Adding on to like what everyone else said, I think it's really important to also enjoy the process of completing your project, and more than just the outcome. Like, the skills they're picking up throughout the process are a lot more important than like the award or anything they'll receive. So kind of focus on like the process rather than what the outcome will be of your project.
Great, thank you. Marilyn, do you want to add in?
Yeah, so I would just like to say, like, a schedule is key to success. Like, plan out the meeting objectives, set deadlines, and like set your own deadlines for like your team, not just like the ones that your school set for you. And meet outside of the school too. And also, like, as everyone has been saying, read the rubric. Like, going through it thoroughly will help you so much in the long run, because like if you miss something, like those are points that you could have made up for.
Something I wanted to add is for like people who are new to MESA or maybe doing MESA for their first time, is that it's okay to work with people you don't know, because in the very beginning, Srinidhi, Harini, Pooja, and I, we didn't know each other at all. I'd seen like Harini once at this point, and I just like, we live next to each other, we're neighbors, so she had all these friends and I was just going along with them, and I knew nobody, but now we're all like really close and we have like a really tight bond.
Great, thank you.
And also, since you're in a group with like different people, there's always going to be problems, but it's like always best to just like get past that, and like, because to like be in a group, it's just like a good opportunity.
Thank you. All right, so has MESA influenced your interest in your studies? And the second part of this is, do you think that you may go into a STEM major in college? Possibly you might even know what you want to be when you finish college. Marilyn, why don't we start with you this time?
So I definitely want to go into a STEM career, and I know what I want to do in college. And so since I've done MESA for so long, it's taught me how much I love doing research. Like, you need to do all this background research, especially for NEDC, on like what your problem is and what you want to do and how you can find a solution. So it's really just showed me how much I like research. And it's also showed me how technology is a part of everything, especially with like COVID hitting and everything being like digital. Like, technology is everywhere. No matter what job you do, technology is a part of it. And MESA also inspired me to learn other coding languages other than just Arduino, like Python, and now I have a Python certification as well, so that's really nice.
And to add on to what Venya said, MESA actually helped me with like many different aspects. Like, MESA opened the door to many new opportunities and fields that I was not fully aware of before. And this is like a memory that I have through MESA. We went on a JHU APL tour, and my team and I talked to a biomedical engineer, and this sparked an interest in that field for me. And this was like a moment of realization where I was like, wait, this is actually pretty cool, and I would like to pursue a job in the biology field. And to build our products, we had to learn how to code, and being educated on using new technology and how to build them as well is essential in the 21st century, since, as Venya said, we're constantly surrounded by it, and it's regardless of the field or profession, we're going to be using it everywhere.
I also feel like being a part of MESA and like presenting our project after working so hard on it has also improved my like presenting skills, and also like helped me gain confidence in myself.
yeah.
Great, thank you. Let's go to California.
So about the question, MESA definitely has influenced my interests for my studies. I used to be very focused on English and like reading and writing, but kind of after MESA, I really got into the engineering and science aspect of it quite a bit. I'm very interested in computer science and just coding in general. I find it to be very interesting, and it's definitely one of my career choices that I would pick when I go to college, hopefully. And yeah, MESA definitely has had a big impact on just my interest in general. From now, when I look at a piece of technology, like I kind of admire how much work it's gone into it, and kind of wonder how people did it. And yeah, definitely it's definitely influenced everything from my studies to just everyday life.
To add on to Natalia, I think that MESA like expanded our knowledge in knowing more about the STEM. Like I always had my like I set on becoming like something in the medical field, but once I did NEDC, like it opened like new doors to so many new things that I didn't even know. And yes, I am currently looking into becoming a biomedical engineer, and it's something that it's very nice to see how much more there is out there to become.
Adding on to that, so I think everything, all the opportunities that MESA has provided for me, made me realize my passion for the STEM field, specifically within engineering. I loved being able to create like different prototypes without any like code or design restrictions. And I think MESA really allows like creativity, room for creativity and innovation. My MESA university in high school was UCI, the University of California, Irvine. And now I'm currently a first year mechanical engineering major at UCI. Sorry for the background noise. I'm at a MESA competition actually right now, but yeah.
Great, thank you. All right, New Mexico.
Cool. So I would say that MESA has influenced my interests and has even like made it even more interesting to me and even more pushed me into going into STEM. So currently I am a computer science major, a first year, and I think MESA had pushed me further into it just by understanding more of the engineering design process and everything that goes into STEM and all that stuff.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, I'm currently a first year civil engineer. But yeah, it really did help reinforce my interest in STEM and also helped teach me research skills that allowed me to actually work in my field as a freshman, which is very uncommon, especially at Mexico Tech, unfortunately. But currently I do work as a research assistant for culvert analysis, which is a whole thing I love to talk about. I won't get into now, but I will say it has really pushed my interest forward in STEM and has given me a lot of skills going into college, which I would otherwise have not had, which I really do appreciate Mexico MESA for giving me those skills.
Great, thank you. All right, so we're gonna get to the audience question and answer and discussion portion. So those who didn't see the Slido code in the chat, I'll also put the link in case it didn't work for you. But I'll also unshare my screen at this point just so we can see everyone. So here's the link in case the other one didn't work for, oh, maybe it won't let me paste. It may not let me paste it. Let's see. No, it's not gonna let me paste, but it's okay. Your Slido code is in the chat, so feel free to type in or you can come on mute. Let me stop sharing. All right, so we do have a question. So I'll start with this question, but if you want to just unmute yourself and talk after this, that's fine too. So the question for the panel is, as a first year advisor with brand new officers as well, I wanted to ask about what the most valuable role or part your advisor played for you. So why don't we start with California?
So the most valuable role our advisor had in our team was definitely a lot of kind of reading the rubric and seeing as we worked, to making sure that we hit all those points and that we didn't miss anything. We also had a lot of communication going on. So if we, for example, needed help with something, and our advisor would usually come to us, or we would go to our advisor, sorry, and we would ask her for help and ask her for things like that. So she would then try to find resources for us to use, try to email people the questions that we had to try to fix the problem. So definitely our advisor was there for communication and also for kind of managing the aspects of our project. For example, if one person was doing the design brief, another person was doing the engineering process or the coding, our advisor would be there looking at us and making sure that we hit the things that we needed to hit in the rubric. So definitely for an advisor, also just a lot of support. MESA isn't, it's really fun, but it's also kind of difficult in the long stretch when like the deadline is coming. So definitely our advisor helped with scheduling and stuff like that.
Adding on to what Natalia said, working with my advisor for almost like 4 years, I think one of the main things is like connecting with your students so they feel comfortable coming to you about any questions. Like for my mentor was not only there for MESA related things, but things outside of like school, college prep, and he was just kind of there for us for anything and reassured us when we were kind of nervous before a competition. So we really built that connection with him, and like to this day he's like one of my main mentors. So being a mentor, I think, in every aspect of the competition really helps.
Great, thank you. Maryland and then New Mexico, if you both want to answer.
I would say, well, with our advisor, they would usually like when we would finish like our design brief or something like that, they usually like, go over it, and as like everyone else said, they would like see what points we would hit and like what things we had to correct. And that helped a lot because this made sure that we didn't lose like those easy points during the competition. And we would also do, I remember this from middle school, we do like fishbowl, I think that's the term, where you like would present like to like other people and then they would give you advice, not only your teachers but like your peers. So that would help a lot too. And yeah, thanks about it. And also, oh yes, having a good connection too.
Another thing our advisors have done through like elementary school, middle school, and high school is that also when they're like going over our work, like Srinidhi said, is not just going over it themselves, but also getting other people's opinions, like asking other teachers to help them out too, because our advisor might not catch everything themselves. So they worked with other people and worked with us to really just make sure that we had everything done that we needed to get done.
Cool. And to add on to that, I kind of treat MESA almost like a sport. I currently do rugby and I have a great coach. And MESA is very similar to that, where you have to have a really great advisor with a lot of experience. The more experience you have, the better you'll do, just statistically as well. But what my biggest thing I'll say, especially to new officers, because I know I was in that position just recently, just be patient and be willing to put in a lot of time, because it does take time to build that experience. I know when I did MESA my first time, we did not have a lot of experience and we did okay at the competition. But of course, when we got that new experience, and of course, my advisor, Miss White, very, very great advisor, might I say, has so much experience and was able to really guide us through the rubric. She knew what to look at, and also look at other teams, quite honestly. Look what they've done in the past, especially look at Chaparral. Chaparral's a great team. Utah, their past projects have been great as well. California, very competitive team. But look at those materials and like, don't copy it, but like take inspiration, see what they have done and see what they've done well, what they might have messed up on and stuff like that. Of course, you can look at our recent project, sorry, voice crack, our recent project, and also see what we've done there and just kind of take inspiration from it. Experience is everything. The best way to do it is look at the past and see what you can reflect on.
I would say a big thing that Miss White did do was she would always like she was like a nice set of eyes for to making sure that what we said was making sense. So sometimes we'd write something that made sense in our head that didn't make sense to her, and she was like, "What are you talking about?" So it's just really good to make sure like everything just sounds coherent and everything falls in line.
Great, thank you. All right, does anyone want to unmute and ask a question? I'm sure you have questions for this panel.
Hi, this is Kim Shear in New Mexico. I have worked with Karli and Luke. They're great competitors, and it's nice to see other competitors on the line. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I see some of them are shared, and it's probably quite nice to hear others in the same boat. I was wondering if you could tell us some of your either current or past classes that have worked alongside with your MESA experience to help bolster you as a student.
Let's start with Mexico. Yeah, or Sophia, go ahead.
So I don't know if this is available everywhere, but I had a class called Project Lead the Way, which was a 4-year course. And it was kind of it was about engineering. And like my first year had a lot to do with like SolidWorks. So I think that really helped elevate my NEDC project with 3D printing and CAD modeling. So I think that worked really well along with MESA and NEDC.
To piggyback off of that, just for like presentational skills, I feel like business also helps a lot, just like trying to like elevate your presentational skills as well because of the presentations and the technical presentations. And we also have PLTW in Maryland as well, so that is also a really good course to take.
So for me, I think a course that like really helped with MESA a lot last year was independent research, because we learned so much about how to find like accurate information and how to find like sources to help us like learn more about different problems. And I think a big thing that really helped was our independent research teacher also taught us how to reach out to professionals in the field so we could get their advice and their experience, and that helped a lot for MESA as well.
I would say some other great courses to take. I took a lot of dual credit when I was in, at least in New Mexico, there's a thing called dual credit where you can dual enroll in college and, of course, high school. But courses I would really recommend taking if you can take dual credit is a lot of programming courses. I know I took several, and it not only taught me design flow, which is a very, very complicated topic, it also taught me basic syntax of basic languages such as MATLAB, which is amazing. I recommend you use it if you can. Python as well as C. But I also took statistics, which really was helpful because it taught me how to conduct statistical review as well as how to interpret statistics. Statistics is a vast field and I love it so much, mainly because of that course. But you really do need to know how to interpret numbers, how to conduct studies. I know I have had a lot of experience since MESA with the rugby club and other departments at MT conducting statistical analysis with the student body. And it really does help knowing how to interpret those numbers and also what you can do to interpret numbers. But we definitely did incorporate a lot of statistics into our project, which really helped having that background knowledge.
For our California team, our last school didn't have a lot of classes per se, just like the pretty basic ones such as math, whether it be algebra or just regular 8th grade math and English. So we didn't have like classes that really were based on engineering and, for example, like statistics and like studying and independent stuff like that. So we definitely did use our online resources quite a bit, like independent, because our school didn't have classes like that. So definitely we looked online at like the Khan Academy coding section that they have, like the Coursera sections that they have for coding. We looked also just online resources because we didn't have classes like that. So Yeah, but also our English class helped quite a bit with writing and giving out presentations. Our science class helped a bit with looking into like scientific articles and journals to acquire like statistics and stuff like that. But definitely our main help was online classes and online courses.
To piggyback off what Natalia said, we did go to a very small school that didn't have a lot of resources for us to indulge ourselves into it like in person, but we did have a computer class, and our science class was also really helpful because it wasn't per se the classes, but the people that were teaching them, because our MESA advisor was also our science teacher. So she was able to help us a lot more because she was our science teacher. And our computer teacher also knew a lot more about coding and was able to help us review the design, the poster, and everything like that. So yeah.
Great, thank you. All right, Ray, I saw you come on camera. Do you have a question?
I guess I guess I do have a question. I know the Maryland team, and I know the states do MESA differently. In Maryland, we have elementary, middle, and high school students participating. And I'd like to know from the Maryland team, what kind of difference did it make for you that you've had the opportunity to do MESA across every grade level, from elementary, middle, and high? So give us some insight on that, because I've kind of been around since you guys started out in elementary school, and I've watched you, and I've been putting these pictures behind me, kind of bragging about you a little bit. So give us some insight on what that has really meant to you in terms of how it's affected your ability to excel in the higher grades.
And I'm going to add on to that because California is here and they have they go into college. So if you have any insight after the Maryland team talks about it going into the college years, you can share. All right, Maryland.
So like Mr. Lucas said, I've been participating in MESA since elementary school, since 4th grade, and it's been about 7 years now, and such a long time. And I've learned so much from just like being there together, meetings after school, meeting other teams who are participating in other parts of the competition, and just discussing with each other and learning just so much from each other. And then we were just talking about courses and like teachers. So like the teacher mentors, we've just been like, I've had like at least like 4 different ones over this course of the past few years. And I've just learned so many different things from each teacher, and each teacher like goes about like running the club differently. And it's just been like great to experience all of that.
Yeah, and just to build off of what Venya said, I feel like, so I've done MESA since 6th grade. I feel like every year we just built more connections with people within like our schools and like outside of our schools. And when we went to nationals, we made friends outside of there too. So like it was just like nice seeing how each team worked differently. And every year, like as the years passed, we kind of implemented that into our own team as well. Like I'm trying to find an example here, like setting like deadlines. Like the first year we had meetings, but we didn't set our own deadlines, and we just kind of follow like the school deadlines. But by doing it for ourselves, it made sure we didn't procrastinate as much, and it helped us a lot.
Also, just being a part of MESA is just a really good experience. Like I first joined as like, oh, this will be fun. I mean, it is fun, but like through the years, especially now, MESA has just become like such a big part of my life, and like I'm like actually gonna really miss it a lot after I like graduate.
And also we kind of go into this just being like, oh, this is like another extracurricular and this is just going to be fun. But while having fun, we also hone on to like many different skills. And like this has helped me in like my academics and outside of school with my leadership skills. So I think just overall, it's a great experience and I'm very thankful for it.
Thank you.
All right, so California, you're younger, so you aren't there, unless Sofia, you're high school, so you're almost there. Do do you feel like you'll stay in MESA when you go to college, or do you think you'll finish when you graduate? What do you think?
So I got really lucky that I'm actually going to the university that was my MESA university through high school. So I still have that connection with my MESA advisors, my high school MESA advisors as well. And we all just feel like a family. Like we still, even though we all are in different parts of like California right now because we went to different universities, but we're actually getting together like in a couple weeks, and having that connection with your team I think is really important. And I got so many connections from MESA that now that I'm in college I still talk to and connect to, and I've gotten a lot of different experiences, and I think many skills I picked up through MESA that I still use to this day, and in projects in college and everything. So I'm really grateful for all the experience I've had in MESA.
New Mexico, I actually don't know. Your grades are just high school, correct? Or does yours expand? Kim, you might actually answer this question.
New Mexico MESA works with 6th through 12th grade students, although one of our regional coordinators works with like a pilot 5th grade elementary. We're primarily funded by the legislature. So the legislature is supporting us working with younger students. And then as for higher education, we are connected with all of the colleges and universities within New Mexico, like New Mexico Tech. We often do our MESA Day there. UNM is a host of my office in the School of Engineering Student Services. And maybe I'll let Luke and Karli share with you how maybe New Mexico MESA helped them maybe transition, and or we don't let them go. Look, they're in college and they're alumni and I keep texting them. They are.
No, yeah, I will admit, the New Mexico program is very amazing with the college connection. I mean, gosh, you're still in connection with me, so that's great. And I know what's it called? New Mexico Tech is a big supporter of MESA. They give out a $1,000 scholarship to past MESA students. I know I've benefited from that myself, but no, the colleges here are really supportive of MESA. I know they contribute a lot. They donate a lot of money too. I've talked to President Wells, or I guess the president of my university, and he really does say how much he loves MESA and how much he has, how much he loves the experience that it gives students coming into college, especially New Mexico Tech. And then Karli, if you want to speak about the UNM side of things.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I haven't really seen much of MESA with UNM, but I do know Kim's office is at one of my engineering buildings that I go to class to.
It's totally fine, Karli. So Maryland girls, if you go to California, you can continue MESA if you want to go to one of those schools. All right, any other questions for this panel? I'll ask a question until someone thinks of one. So how are you all doing with your challenges so far this year? So we're in December, and so competition season is a little different in every state, but we will start to enter that in the spring. So how do you feel your projects are going this year? Anyone can start.
I feel like they've been going pretty well. I feel like last year was a little bit more difficult since we went from like virtual to back into like in person, and that transition was a little difficult, just trying to get used to it all again. But I think this year honestly has gone a little bit smoother since we're able to meet in person again. And honestly, being able to do the project hands-on makes it easier to actually like build the device together, and that's a big part of it.
Like Srinidhi said, we've made a lot of progress so far, and we've been like trying out new things and just seeing how stuff are working out. And I don't know about like the other high schools, but for us, we always have multiple teams for NEDC or just any competition. So we have a school level competition as well. So that's a little bit, maybe like a month or a month and a half before the regionals competition. So we have to make sure we're prepared early.
For me, last year was a lot easier than this year because I had a more prepared and organized team. This year, I'm going into high school, so it's more difficult for me to find my own team because they're going to a different high school than me. But so far, my project has been going pretty well, actually. We finally got a solid idea. I think it's just difficult to start getting parts and actually assembling things because an idea can only get you so far.
Yeah,
For us,
to add on, go now.
Oh, okay, thank you. For us this year, we're currently in high school, so the transition from last year to this year is different because we're at a new school. But it's been going well. We have an idea right now that we picked on, and yeah, it's definitely more different because it's a different advisor, a different environment that we're in. But it's been going well, and definitely right now it's kind of learning how to navigate high school and then also working on a project. It's definitely more different than last year, but the project's been going well, and we've been able to have some ideas. So yeah.
Yeah, to add on to Nat, I think it's a little bit more different because last year was middle school and now we're in a total different environment. And I could speak on behalf of Bethany and Natalia, because we go to a medical high school. So it's a little bit different from everybody else's high school. There's different environment, different tasks that we have to do in high school. So it's a little bit more challenging, but I think me and the girls are up for the challenge.
Good. Anyone else want to share? All right. Well, thank you. That was good. Well, nationals is coming up at the end of June, so there's your, goal for those of you still in middle and high school. Let's see. Any other questions? We still have about 15 minutes. All right, I'll ask another question. So let's see. So before you started MESA, did any of you find that was MESA the first STEM experience you had before you got into MESA? In terms of like, were you doing the program as something like a tester, or did you know you loved STEM and you just wanted to do MESA? Anyone can answer.
So I took MESA as the first time I joined with MESA was in middle school. I was in 6th grade. So it was like, I want to do an extracurricular. I want to get more involved with my school. So that's when I met Venya, Harini, and Pooja. And from there, I think that's where my interest in the STEM field kind of started. I think it was because of MESA, and also I took tech ed at school. So just like being able to do it was like an insight to like the engineering aspect of it all, and MESA, like both of those combined kind of helped me figure out that I had an interest in the STEM field.
For me, MESA was also my very first STEM experience, but I've really just learned so much and loved it a lot, and it's inspired me to like try other things. Like I've also been part of the Rube Goldberg Challenge competition here in Maryland, and it's just really cool to just be able to like experience what MESA is like doing for us and just be a part of all of this.
I did Girls Who Code in 5th grade, and that was what got me started. But MESA was what really got me into like coding and like the STEM field. And along with that, seeing my parents also who also do like computer science and stuff, that also like pushed me towards this kind of career.
Anyone else want to answer?
For me, I would say that STEM has been a very big part of my entire life, given that my dad is a civil engineer. So since I was like really young, he'd always be like introducing topics to me and explaining just like very like small things like physics concepts or like how things interact with each other. And that really pushed me into going more into STEM. So I think at the age of 9, my dad had like had me like fix things with him and understand how like just like basic things work, or help him work with the cars to really understand. And that really further pushed my love for STEM when I was younger.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of the same situation with me. I mean, my parents weren't engineers, I'll be completely honest, or computer scientists or any of that. But I had a lot of experience with robotics competitions, first Lego League, and then from there Vector Robotics, and then Bot Ball, a whole lot of prior competitions before coming to Mesa. So Mesa, well, it really did show me what mechanical engineering was like. And at the time, I was split between mechanical engineering and civil engineering. And I chose civil engineering because, well, I'm not a big fan of mechanical engineering. But Mesa was a continuation of my STEM experiences, and I personally loved it because, again, it gave you a dip of everything. It showed you computer science, a lot of mechanical engineering, a little bit of civil engineering with the bridge design we had to make in the Mesa class. So it was overall a great experience, and definitely more advanced than all the other competitions I'd taken past with First Lego League and all that.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. All right. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. For me, Mesa was my first STEM experience. I was in my online year. That was the online year where COVID hit, and I was like kind of wanting to find new things, and I heard that one of the teachers was hosting kind of like a club meeting online for Mesa. That's when I first joined, and it definitely was my first Mesa experience. I don't have parents that are like engineers or anything like that, so it definitely was a new field for me, and it definitely was a totally different experience. So yeah, Mesa was definitely like my first club and my first engineering experience in just general.
Great, thank you. We got another question. So is there anything that tends to trip students up, anything to be aware of ahead of time? So when you were working through your challenges and prepping for competitions, so this could go either way, just working through the projects or preparing for competition. Was there anything that you found maybe throughout the years you were doing MESA that often was like a stumbling block? Anyone can answer.
So I think people have mentioned this a little bit before, talking about like just reading the rubric, because one year, a couple years ago, we just had so much going on, like our advisor and all of us, like outside of school and outside of MESA, that we actually forgot one of the deadlines, and we lost points because we submitted it late. So I think definitely, even though like your advisor is there to help you, that you should also read the rubric and make sure you know when all the deadlines are too.
No, the one thing I will say for Mesa, the deadlines, they still give me nightmares today. I mean, phew, they really sneak up on you. You think you have a lot more time than you actually do. So like one thing I will recommend you do, and always do, and will sneak up on you, is the deadlines. Make sure you have things done a week or even 2 weeks in advance. If you don't, they will sneak up on you, and it'll be a really rude awakening when you're pulling all-nighters to cram in a poster or a presentation that you have to practice for the next day. So just watch those deadlines. They are scary, and they will give you nightmares for years after MESA. I know they still give me nightmares because those were a lot of long, sleepless nights.
Yeah, another thing that still gives me nightmares to this day is like the last minute bugs, like where you have to go in and just like the product is working completely fine one day, and the next day right before you have to submit it and like go to the competition, there's something that always goes wrong. So like don't let those freak you out. It happens. Just like persevere, get it done, you'll be fine, and you'll have fun at the competition. So
talking about last minute bugs and stuff, I remember when we were at our first national competition in 6th grade, so in 2018, we were at the poster event and our device like stopped working, and we were just like very panicked. We were just like, what are we supposed to do? Like, how do we get this to work? Because it was like right before the poster like presentations and everything started, and people were starting to come in and walk around. So you should definitely be prepared for anything that could happen, and just don't panic. And thankfully we had extra batteries with us, and we realized that it was just the batteries that ran out because we hadn't changed them all year. So just anything could happen. Just be prepared and don't panic.
All right, so I'm going to open this back up to the panelists and say, are there any last things you would suggest you want to say, any future endeavors that you're doing that MESA might have helped you do that not necessarily connected to the project? So share it. We have about 6 minutes. Like, what are your what's going on in your lives that MESA's helped you kind of think about and start doing?
I actually am starting a fundraiser. So I'm orchestrating a fundraiser in coordination with MESA to raise money for underfunded schools and FQHCs in Baltimore region. And this, like, starting next year, me and like 2 other juniors from another school in Maryland, we'll look into fundraisers. We'll be looking into conducting fundraisers from our school, as well as secure possible business sponsorships. So if there's anyone else that is interested in joining our project to fundraise, let us know. You can always email me. I can put my email in the chat here. So yeah.
You can also reach out to me and I can connect you as well if you have students that might be interested in working with her. That's awesome. That's great. One thing that we definitely like to do with MESA is help students see how they can make an impact in their community. So it's really awesome that you've been able to take that kind of lesson that we're trying to teach and make it broader. Anyone else want to share? All right. Well, I'm going to stay on if anyone has any other questions. I don't want to, make everyone just sit here. But I appreciate the panelists who were here today. You were very enlightening and you gave a lot of great information. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.